I'm Nick Meyer, welcome to Pocket News for Thursday, the 1st of Spring-tember. Today on the show, EVE Online doesn't want my money, just my soul, and 5 men do the work of 1 robot. I, for one, welcome our white male overlords. Alright, here's what's been making headlines, and first up, EVE Online is going free to play this November. God help Nikki. CCP's epic sci-fi MMO celebrated its 13th anniversary this year, and as most of you know, as a teenager, you go through many changes. Hair begins to grow in your spaceports, you start to look at other space MMOs, and eventually your subscription model drops. It's only natural. The interesting thing here, though, is that CCP aren't doing away with the subscription model entirely. Following the next patch, the player base will be split up into alphas and omegas. The omega types are the existing subscribers. They'll be able to access all skills, ships, and items. Those who take advantage of free-to-play are dubbed alphas. They'll be limited in their skills and therefore won't be able to pilot some of the more advanced ships. However, they'll still be able to mine and explore and run missions and join fleets and be horribly abusive. They basically just don't get the top 5% of the content, which is really only for the hardcore players anyway. If an Omega's subscription lapses, they'll be reverted to an alpha, but will redeem their superior title once they resubscribe, and alphas will be able to buy their way up to Omega status by handing over their credit card details and submitting to the will of EVE. This is perfect and awful. I've spoken forever about the fact that I want to get into EVE, but now maybe free to play is the way that I can finally do it. Not that there was really anything stopping me before other than the giant complexity of that game, but it's still there. Although they've removed the top 5% for the free-to-play players. And the great thing is, you can play like 700 hours worth, and you don't need to pay. But at that point, I would argue that if you play 700 hours of anything, you should pay at least $15 a month. Moving on, and NVIDIA are now making mods. The tech company's internal development team at NVIDIA Lightspeed Studios has created a Fallout 4 mod called Vault 1080. Clever. It's a bit of an all-in-one mod, as it not only adds a new quest line, but introduces some fancy tech upgrades as well to take full advantage of their video cards. The use of their in-house ambient occlusion means they can deliver better volumetric lighting and shadows than Fallout 4 does natively, which probably explains why they've gone for the whole let's put a light source behind every crack in the wall approach. So it's basically a 1-hour ad for NVIDIA, but it's a 1-hour ad that comes with a quest line and a bunch of sexy shadows, so that's kind of okay. Vault 1080 is coming out on September 2nd. If you've been waiting for the complete release of Hitman, you can wait just a bit longer, like a patient Hitman. IO Interactive announced overnight that the complete first season worth of Hitman content will be released on disc in January of 2017. Sadly, the release is not called Hitman's Greatest Hits. We're just gonna have to learn to live with that. According to IO's studio head Hans Seifert, the disc combines everything we have learned, refined, and updated over the course of a 10-month live season. It's the direct result of live input, development, and feedback from our players. Which means that anyone who has already played Hitman has just been a disgusting guinea pig to them. Just a filthy little rodent running their maze, testing out all their things, just to help dirty old Hans make the perfect physical copy of Hitman. You disgust me, IO. It's inhuman. Moving on, in the Battlefield 1 beta is live. I love betas. The shooter is being tested on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and anyone is welcome to jump in if they can afford the free download. Apparently there have been some server issues today, but that's what betas are for. IO. Betas. There's no word on when the testing period will end, but it's believed it will run until at least the 8th of September. The game is due for full release on the 21st of October. And speaking of testing things out on you, what do you think about this thing of the day? Thing of the day. What happens when you leave 5 white men in a house with a voice modifier? They sing Still Alive. Still alive, still alive. Oh, I am still alive. Thanks, voice play. Thing of the day. Alright, that is it for Pocket News. My Pocketeers! This afternoon for our Pocket Play, I check out World of Warcraft Legion, where I get my hands on a sick artifact weapon, but not necessarily the one that I wanted. And also, just to let you know, there will be no Ask Pocket tomorrow. Instead, I will be telling you my top games for the month in a segment we're calling My Top Games for the Month. Feel free to improve that title down in the comments. And you need to bounce title ideas off someone, then join the Pocketeers Facebook group and Steam group. There are links to everything I just said in the description below. Today's Thing of the Day graphic was made by Pink Girl, who also drew our attention to the actual Thing of the Day. So I guess you could say, Pink Girl, you are in fact our Thing of the Day. Until we next assemble, my Pocketeers, Nick Bay out. I can't, I'm just gonna let you behind the curtain for a second. 10 minutes. 10 minutes to get out the whole sentence about like top games of the month and artifact weapon. I had to punch Steve. Just one of those things. Oh, feels good. Just to relieve some stress. And then at the end, when I kissed, I didn't go, I went, I breathed it in. I didn't even send it to you, I took it back. I'm falling apart. All right, until we next talk through things, my Pocketeers, Nick Bay out.
Hex out.
You're so unconfident.
It's just because it's weird, but I always want to do what you do because you're so confident in it, and then I'm like, this isn't something that I do. Mwah.
People are way more excited about you blowing kisses than I am.